listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting off baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There's no human being I'd rather be talking to right now than Alex Tantum. Well, why do you shake your head?
I don't know.
You don't believe it?
Is it true?
It's true. I say this.
Well.
It's like, first of all, if I could bring a smile to anybody's face to begin with, I want to do that.
Yeah.
It's science. You smiled, but I mean it. This is the thing, Alex. It's much like, you know how this works. And by the way, Alex is the CEO, the founder, the El Jefe, the everything of MLB Fits, which we're going to get to in a second. We've already, because I feel like we sat down for the podcast, which I appreciate before, but I want to give everyone a refresher course about your journey. But it's much like when you catch up with somebody, right? So we've seen each other at the park, and you'll do a great interview. You'll get a guy, and maybe it's a guy that you didn't expect to get, but when you're talking to him, you're like, you could be the last guy in the roster. You could be the last guy on the single A roster. Everybody has a story, and everybody has an angle, and everybody's is awesome to talk to. This is the great world of baseball. But you're at the top of the list. You're at the top of the list, my friend.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, as you can see, that does bring a smile on my face.
Yeah.
So all
right. Let's do the refresher course.
Yeah.
The history of MLB Fits. Let's go. Before we get into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we'll make it a little quicker this time, but
yeah, it's all good.
So basically, just about 5 years ago now, saw this NBA fashion page I've been following for a while, posting about NBA player outfits, and I thought, that this was a cool way of showing off player personalities in baseball through their outfits.
And you were you in college then? Is that
I
right?
was in college then.
Okay.
I was a sophomore at Villanova. So did that, and then just decided, okay, let's start it this way, showing off player outfits. Quickly determined that, there's not as many players who are, dressing up as much as in the NBA. So showing off some of the player outfits, but then expanding to anything to show the personalities of the players and bridge that gap between the players and fans and show to the younger generations that baseball isn't boring, as I know we love here.
Yes.
So yeah, just whether it's through outfits, celebrity first pitches, players in their custom gear on the field, what they're doing off the field, now in the off season, trying to show what they're doing in the off season, keeping fans, helping fans keep up with what they're doing. So yeah, really just trying to showcase their personalities, what it comes down to. And over the last 5 years, I've been able to connect with a lot of different players and media platforms like John Boy and Bleacher Report, like their baseball page, and working with them has been really cool. And yeah, then I got to start interviewing the players because I got into the credential system, and that was another extension, asking them all different questions about themselves. And yeah, I guess making it long story short, here we are now.
And you hit the nail on the head, like where you talked about, first of all, awesome. I'll say it again. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's such a great story, but extracting in the NBA to MLB thing is so interesting because, as you know, Alex, MLB was so slow. Like, it was slow. And this is why you scratch right where they itch right now. They are playing catch up. They have been playing a catch up. I've said this a million times. I've used this examples a million times. While the NBA was rolling out, everyone was saying, hey, what sneakers are these guys wearing? The MLB was saying, no, sorry, guys, you can't wear cleats with more than 2 colors. It's remarkable, right? It was remarkable. So now, obviously, MLB, especially in the last couple of years, and maybe you can give a better perspective on this, they are starved to show personality. And I don't know if you got that sense, like you said, you're credentialed now,
Right.
all of this stuff. Do you get the sense in the last couple of years that MLB is diving more into this stuff than ever before? Even like say 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely think they've leaned into it, which is really good to see. Um, you know, I think from what I'm trying to remember, when I know that when I started MLB Fits, I felt like, okay, here's kind of a problem in a sense that MLB isn't, you know, maybe doing all they can or all I think that there is an opportunity to do with marketing the players on social. And and that MLB Fits could be part of that solution. And kind of like you said, I do, or like you were talking about it, I think in the last 5 years it definitely has improved. I think, for example, like something like I know Bryce Harper has been posting on TikTok like once a day the
Yeah,
last week,
barista. Yeah.
ahead of potential TikTok ban. I guess we'll see about that. But I've seen that like MLB socials have kind of picked that up and been like, you know, Bryce Harper the barista, and Bryce Harper, names his lineup or whatever. And I think that kind of content, like stuff like that, is something they might not have posted like 5 years ago. Just kind of that stuff that like players post themselves on social, or just making more of those fun posts. And I think that's something that I've seen more of them do more. So that's definitely been a major improvement, and I do feel like they're leaning into it more.
What's the best compliment you've got, let's say in the last year,
Wow, putting me
besides
on.
the one that I just gave you?
Um, I mean, well,
Because I would imagine that, like you said, now that you're interacting with players a
right.
lot more. Go ahead.
I will say that I've been talking to, just trying to get plans set up for this coming year in collaborating with teams on more content. Um, and I'm not gonna put there's talking to people with teams like you know, the Mets or the Padres or stuff like that, and hearing from people that I've been speaking to, that are working on their marketing side, working on their creative content side, and them kind of telling me like along the lines of, love what you're doing and things of that nature. I can't remember the specific compliment
No,
exactly,
no, but the fact
but
that
just
you just said the compliment.
right, just
Actually major league teams are saying, "Hey, you know what? We want to be in on this, right?"
right. And I think just hearing from that side of oh, we really like what you're doing, and that you're bringing something different to the table, like hearing that from people who are on the side of the teams, and you know that means something to me for sure. And I think that's what stood out is hearing it from like, yeah, from within the league itself.
And I witness players, obviously players, when you see them, they're like, "Oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I saw
that's great
that.
too.
Oh yeah, you're doing a great job." Whatever it is. I mean, I witnessed it. There's probably been plenty of other guys who did, and that goes, Alex, man, like that goes so far. That goes so
Yeah.
far in getting stuff done.
Yeah, I mean, any compliment from a player stands out. I think another thing that stands out is like if I'm interviewing a player and I bring up one of my kind of general questions or whatever, like some of my general questions include like who's the toughest pitcher you faced, and stuff like that. And I think like if a player's like, oh yeah, like I saw you do this with such and such, or like something like that, it's like, oh, like cool. They saw me do this now, and now they're getting asked this by me. So like, yeah, that's always cool as
Yeah,
well.
it's street cred for them, believe me. All right. All right, we're gonna get to the brass tacks of what's going on because 2024 is in the past. Congratulations to Francisco Lindor for being
Yeah,
named right MLB Fits Man of the
yeah.
Year. So good choice,
Thank
excellent
you.
choice. But we're moving forward. You mentioned
Yeah,
Bryce Harper, but in the last day, we've had alternate uniform announcement from the Chicago Cubs.
Yep.
And even before that, Alex, so we had the Fenway Fest, which I was at, and
Right.
this is why it's incredible to me. Like uniforms are nuts. Like people, not uniforms, whether it's uniforms but that they're playing in or uniforms that they're walking the stadium in. People like that maybe more than anything, and I have the analytics to prove it. And just the other day, all this stuff that's happening at Fenway Fest, and I found out, if anyone wants to know, the new City Connect uniforms are going to be green.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like boom. Like it's all of all the things, contract extension, trade talk, the city, not even like what they look like. They are going to be green. Oh my goodness, right? It's so
Yeah.
so then we have the Cubs announce that they have their powder blues coming out.
Hmm.
I want to get your take on, I guess,
Yeah.
like that, right? It's
Right.
like I think we've talked about City Connects and
Yeah.
those sort of things, but what's your take on it?
Well, first of all, yeah. Based on my analytics as well, I feel like uniform stuff, City Connect stuff, uniform stuff, that always does really well. And yeah, after you posted that on, I guess X, we call it now,
Yeah.
uh, I knew I was like, oh boy, this one's gonna take off.
They're gonna be green.
And then on Instagram, I didn't post about it actually myself, but I actually have something in the works, like a concept uniform involving. I'm
Okay.
gonna post about that in the upcoming week, but I saw a lot of posts on Instagram about it as well from other pages. But yeah, I think uniform stuff does really well, and people are always interested to see the new stuff. I think it'll be really cool to see what the Red Sox do with that. I know their first City Connect was kind of polarizing. You know, some people really liked it, some
Oh, the
people did.
yellows?
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing. They're keeping the yellows.
I
Like,
know.
yeah.
I think some people don't realize that. Because some people are like, "Oh, great, we want to see that
No,
again."
man.
But no, you're still seeing it.
You're still seeing it. They're still selling it.
Yeah,
They had a good run in them.
but
Yeah.
I do think those Green Monster ones, if that's kind of what, it's
Yeah.
going to be around, which it seems like it is, if they're going to use the color green, are going to sell extremely well and hopefully look great as well. The Cubs, I think first kind of reaction, I thought they looked pretty good. Um, I think I don't know how much people think like powder blues when they think Cubs, but I think it's a nice change of pace. And I really like the hat and the logo. I thought that was different and yeah, kind of like the Red Sox. I know with their City Connects, not it's kind of mixed reactions with those. I know these aren't City Connects, and there was a little bit of confusion as well with that.
Mm.
Whether these were the new City Connects, and they're not, I believe. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see some new City Connects come out this year. I think whatever was in the first year, I believe, whoever was in that run are getting new ones, along with maybe a team or two from the second year of City Connect. So it'll be cool to see the new ones, and I'm excited for that because yeah, I mean it's always cool to see new uniforms and like we said, I think yeah, new uniform posts always do well. So
Was it universal? And the Rays people were nice enough to sit down with us to sort of go through their process.
yeah.
Was it universal? The Rays City Connects like hit the hardest. I mean,
I think that's one of them, but I think over time I feel like the one that is most universally liked is the Rays are one of them, but the Padres I feel like
mm,
I feel like a lot of people like those. And yeah, I think people like the Marlins ones a lot. I know those are I think the Marlins are getting new ones this year. The Nationals, who are also getting new ones this year, and I know some people are not, are disappointed that those are not going to be part of the rotation anymore. The cherry blossom ones, maybe they'll have a new variation of that, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see the new ones this year for sure.
so we go to. Well, let me ask you this real quick. This isn't City Connects. We've talked about City. I want to get Alex Tantum's basically preference, opinion, just guttural reaction what is your favorite uniform? Like, what is for you? What is the uniform? As we said, like it sort of hits the hardest, and
Right.
maybe it's an old school. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, well, two ones that really just immediately come to my mind, and honestly, I really do. Well, all right, now I'm thinking more as I'm about to say this.
It's
I
good. It's
do.
good.
Yeah, I mean the Padres City Connect. I really like that one. It's very different. I like the bright colors. It's like really fun. Um, Another one that they wore for their one of their anniversary seasons last year or the year before that was the Marlins, their teal
Yeah.
striped ones. I know everybody loves that, and I was hoping they'd keep it in the rotation. They have it, but maybe their new City Connect will kind of lean into that teal and maybe some Miami Vice type of stuff. That'd be really fun. But I love that uniform. Let's see. Another one, I feel like I really like the Phillies powder blues.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
do
good.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people generally like powder blue stuff, so um I think
Congratulations,
those were
Cubs.
good.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm just trying to think. Those are the ones that really
Well,
stand
one
out to me
one
the
thing that
top.
I don't think, and maybe like we can both dig in on this the minute that this like we stop recording. There hasn't been a lot of talk about one of the biggest. There was arm injuries and there was a crappy uniform quality
Yeah,
last year, right?
yeah.
You follow it probably a lot more than I do. Has there been a lot of talk about adjustments that they've made, or are they going to show up with see-through uniforms again? Do we
I
know?
mean, I haven't. I do think I feel like it's something people kind of forgot about over the course of last season a little bit. Like as people got more and more used to it. I know for the first month of the season,
Oh,
it
it's
was
crazy.
all the talk.
Alex, I don't know if you saw. So one player said, grab the baseballs and boring sticker, put it in the thigh of underneath the thigh of his pants, his uniform pants,
Yeah,
and you could see it. It was the best branding of all time. It was like, you know, it was like you could see
yeah,
underneath through the uniform the sticker. And there's plenty of other examples of the names.
right.
The names were awful. Yeah,
Yeah, I think. Well, first of all, I guess we'll see in like a month now.
yeah.
A little bit more than that when the team official pictures are done and whatnot. I think though the one thing I'm remembering now is that I believe like at some of the press conferences for these players like Soto and Burns and the big name free agents, I believe they've the jerseys they've been holding up have had the bigger letters back. So we'll see, but I know last year, I mean, they said they were bringing, the old jerseys back, the old uniforms back. So I'd be surprised if it's anything different. And I think, you know, if it is the same, I think we're gonna start hearing about it again because you're gonna
Oh,
start hearing players
it
talk
was
about it.
unbelievable. Like people forget, and we always have to latch on to stuff in spring training, right? But I think the year before, maybe it was up or whatever. You have pitch clock stuff. And last year, spring training, the terrible uniforms dominated conversation because you know why, Alex? They were terrible.
Yeah,
It was like it was like the ones you get on giveaway night. It was
yeah,
all that was missing was Frito Lay on the back. It's crazy.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
but anyway, hopefully let's cross our fingers. All right,
yeah,
I want to ask you. We talked about uniforms.
yeah,
I want to ask you heading into this year. Um, we've talked about Lindor, Bryce Harper, obviously top of the list when it comes to fashion, everything
yeah,
else. I remember I talked to sat down with Zach Gallen, who
yeah,
uh, who is takes great pride in his appearance.
yeah.
Um,
It's great.
but he says Merrill Kelly only wears like hoodies.
Yeah.
By the way, I think Alex that the Diamondbacks are the only team that have like traveling sweatsuits. I want
Um,
you to look into that.
I off the top of my head, I do know there's another team,
Wait, okay, what is it?
the Dodgers.
No, 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 no. I
No,
don't think so. Well,
maybe.
I've been maybe like I I've all I can tell you is that I've been around the Dodgers and I've never seen the universal where leaving the clubhouse and everybody's wearing the same sweatsuits.
Okay. I'll have to look more into that
But you
then.
might be right. Maybe I'm just misremembering it. But anyway, I just said we just had on I think I had on Lavello. Congratulations, Tori Lavello, or I forget, or maybe it was Amiel Sade, the GM.
Okay.
Congratulations, Amiel. Like you are the best kept, you are the most put together team. And he said they've been doing that for years, which is like, it's like seeing the college basketball team at the airport. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks cozy.
It does look good.
It looks like a nice travel wear, stay relaxed on the
Yeah, well,
plane.
this is also maybe something to dig in on. It's the different philosophies with teams on going on road trips. And I know they do the wacky stuff every once in a while, but some like I know for the Red Sox, if you had 3 or fewer years, you had to wear a suit.
Yeah. 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 I had an interesting conversation with Charlie Morton about this, not last year, but the year before that. And yeah, he talked about how different it is now versus when he came into the league. How now the Braves are where, well, or when he was back on the Braves, now he's going to be an Oriole, but the Braves were wearing, sweatpants on the plane or whatever, and that it used to be you gotta be in a suit, and stuff like that. He was really interesting to talk to just about the differences in fashion from then to now. And obviously he's not like a fashion guy himself really, but it was just interesting to hear kind of, I mean, it's similar to what you just said, that just the difference
Well,
between
isn't this next level? And maybe this, whether it's walking in. So NBA for years now, for the last few years, the
Mm,
dynamic of what is the guy wearing walking in to the
right.
stadium, right? Football players, a lot, mostly quarterbacks. There's that dynamic. Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
We haven't quite cracked that nut with MLB. I don't feel like a little
No,
bit.
no. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I think I mentioned it the last time we talked, was that, there's a challenge in of itself, just in a sense that there's 162 games. NBA, they care so much about their fashion. They're spending definitely the highest proportion of their earnings on fashion. Will say, just the NBA money's crazy in terms of, like, you get a guy who's, scoring 10 points a game, making 15, $20 million a year. So that's a whole nother thing. But I think that's part of the challenge with baseball. And I think, again, it's kind of like if you have, you know, designated days where it's like, okay, we're going to take pictures of you today. So wear your best stuff today. I think you see there's different levels of enthusiasm and different strategies from, I guess, kind of like each team on a social strategy, I guess, and how much they're going to post about outfits. So it's definitely still a work in progress, right? You get some teams that are posting about it, once a week. I know, like, or even more than that. And then you got some teams that post about it once a month, or some teams that basically don't post still at all, really, about, you know, players walking in or traveling. So it varies by team, but it definitely has picked up, I think, over the last year or two a lot. And kind of, going back to the beginning of our conversation today, talking about how MLB has kind of leaned more into this. I definitely have seen them post a little bit more fashion over the last year. It's still not at a high level.
Mm.
It's still not a featured part of what they're doing, but it's definitely more than it used to be.
What
So
what team what team gets it? You think better than most?
I think there's a couple teams that stand out to me. I think the Mets do a great job of that. And I think they've been doing a really good job of that. The Yankees have posted a lot of fashion stuff. So pointing out my local teams, I guess. The Phillies are interesting because I think they've done it like every Friday this year, and it's actually been a sponsored post. So they have like a paid partnership with somebody. And that's another thing. I think, a lot of the NFL teams, from working with the NFL, like a lot of the NFL teams, their arrival outfits are paid partnerships now. So
Really?
like
Yeah.
there's a local company or a national company that's sponsoring the walk-in. So it's like a paid partnership with Snickers and like they'll put on a Snickers sticker like on the bottom of the first like, slide or whatever. So that's another opportunity maybe the MLB teams can lean into more if they want a little bit more
I
revenue.
like. I didn't realize that. I like that though.
Yeah.
That
So there's more opportunities with that,
it
but
is. You know, it's funny because you mentioned the Yankees, and I know that when 2 years ago when we first started interviewing the guys from Savannah Bananas, we were looking at Instagram followers
yeah.
of the teams, TikTok followers, and the Savannah Bananas are blowing all these teams away. I mean,
Yeah.
this is even a couple of years ago before they're selling out stadiums.
Yeah.
Um, but there was definitely like it just felt like okay, MLB, like if you are millions behind this organization that's really just getting going, you
Right.
you probably might want to learn something from them.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think with the Bananas, what's interesting about them is, I mean, obviously, like, an MLB team is not, that'll be hilarious to think about them doing like MLB teams doing TikToks like during games or like doing
Yeah.
dances during games. But so that's not an opportunity they could take advantage of. But I think the Bananas just lean into all the different things that can attract more people who are not as, baseball diehards. And I
Oh,
think I think it's interesting just kind of looking at I feel like their demographics probably are pretty a little bit different from Major League Baseball or just, in a sense I think they definitely probably attract more women and more young people, it's amazing like always seeing like I mean,
oh,
I've never been to a Bananas event myself, but it just seems like for example, like seeing they have like little autograph sessions before and after the game and stuff like that and the kids are just
it's
going
crazy.
crazy for it.
It's
And it's
Alex, it's crazy. Like you talk about the perfect sweet spot for getting the younger demographic. Not only the younger demographic, but as you said, maybe people who are on the periphery of baseball, who aren't the diehards. Because when you show up to a Bananas game, it's all the things it's in the game is one thing, but I mean, you're doing all that stuff outside the park for an hour. The merchandise is crazy. Like the merch is it's unbelievable. There should be a master class, or there is a master class. They have a master class about the utilization of merch, not just say, "Hey, buy our stuff," but making people feel like it's part of the experience.
yeah,
So, and I know that's like to come back to it with the City Connects or whatever it is. I mean, I know that MLB is trying to sort of do that. You can't do the same thing, but uh,
right. No, they're trying to do that and it's I think the City Connect thing overall has been a win for Major League Baseball. I think first of all, they are getting like merch sales that they weren't getting every team in the first
yep.
place. It's the new uniform and it stirs up conversation. I think it's something, that even, non-baseball fans can have an opinion on a uniform, even if they're not into baseball. So it just, whether it's negative or positive, every City Connect uniform drop does generate conversation. So that's a good thing as well.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
all right. So Paul, so looking forward to the next year, Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn, like, right?
yeah,
They're the gift that keeps on giving,
yeah,
right? They
yeah,
are.
yeah,
Um, that's an obvious statement. It's we saw that in the All-Star game and
yeah,
starting with that, all of that, and we've seen it
yeah,
numerous times on social media. But
yeah.
I want to know who is the other power couple? Who is
Wow.
this is like you have Jason Kelsey's wife, obviously starting a tremendously popular podcast.
Yeah,
Um, and I feel like partners of a lot of the players have a lot of personality. Livy Dunn can do it. Like she was already famous, and we get that.
yeah,
But I feel like there might be some others. This might be the year of that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, no, I think there's definitely some more that like aren't talked about as much. Obviously, like Livy and Paul are their own people, but they are kind of like the Travis and Taylor Swift of Major League Baseball. And that's another thing. If we go back to our conversation about Major League Baseball and what they're doing on social, like they would not have posted nearly as much about this, like, 5, 10 years ago, and they've really leaned into it. And again, it's like some people don't like it, but it's still, whether they like it or not, they're still interacting with the post.
Yeah.
But in terms of couples, I think one that just immediately comes to my mind is Freddie and Chelsea
Yeah.
Freeman. Um, I think they're just like, Chelsea's always posting like cool stuff. And she's like good outfits just as like a fan, like coming into the game and stuff like that.
Well, that's another part of this is that the wives and girlfriends of the players, and I know this because, and I've actually talked to well, the our founder, our co-founder, LLC, Joe Kelly, his wife
Yeah.
Ashley. Joe isn't on social,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But Ashley is, and when the Dodgers making their run, like obviously she did what a lot of wives and girlfriends did. Look at, we're all together. Look at what we're wearing. And at one point, Alex, that I was talking to her after one of the games. She said that the Dodgers gave them all, I forget, like they were in New York, so they all gave them matching coats or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But usually they take it upon themselves. This is a whole nother thing, right? And so to find people like that,
Yeah.
that's going to expand your brand. That's what I'm saying, that they're going to help you. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the advice. Yeah, no, I think I do find myself sometimes, like, if I'm not if I'm just looking for content or stuff, I will look at the wives like Instagram stories and what they're posting, because sometimes they'll post with their husbands, they'll post
So
behind the
besides Chelsea Freeman, who jumps to
um
mind?
another one that's actually believe it or not, Austin Gomber and his wife Rachel. Rachel is big on TikTok and Instagram, just posted kind of the behind the scenes of what it's like to be a wife of a Major League Baseball player and have a family and all that stuff. Really, like, lots of wholesome content there. Um, Francisco Lindor and his wife
Yeah.
Katia. She's into fashion herself, I believe, so she's really good about posting different stuff, and they have a really nice family. Um, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot of new couples getting married this off season. Off
Oh
season,
yeah.
big wedding time. So, but yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, those are a couple that come to mind, and I'll get back to you on some more because
No,
there's
no, it's good. It's just the beginning of, we're easing into spring training. We can only have so many pictures of Jake Berger's head with a sunburn, right? So,
yeah, yeah, no, and definitely there's always some good family spring training
ah,
content.
it's the best.
Yeah,
Hey, listen, you've been very generous with your time, and I'm so psyched for this year.
yeah,
Starting with spring training, I know that I'll see you down there at some point.
yeah.
And I, is there anything that you want to sort of give the heads up of, anything that you're doing, anything you got coming up at all, or anything at all?
No, I mean, just check out MLB Fits. I'm, off season, just gonna keep posted through it. I know we got usually some good suits and outfits come out from the Baseball Writers Association
Oh,
Awards, and that's gonna be in
yeah.
a like a week and a half from now. So stay tuned for that. I'm doing a walk-up song tournament right now in my MLB Fits polls, my Instagram story over the next. It started a couple days ago, but it's be going gonna be going for the next 10 days. So check that out if you're into music and
We
stuff like
love
that.
walk-up songs.
Yeah,
We
love
love
that.
we love trying to force walk-up songs on players. That's one of my favorite pastimes.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see the new ones this year. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep posting, and then spring training is always a fun time and exciting time, and gonna have good content from that. Gonna be doing my interviews again. And yeah, so just keep an eye out for all that, and it'll be, hopefully, I think it will be a fun year.
All right, you're part of the solution, my friend.
Thank
Part of the
you.
solution.
Yep.
I'm going to call you the solution. It's your new nickname.
The solution. I like it.
All right, Alex. Thanks, man.
Thank you.